What I would do if I was down on my XRP purchase. That's what I want to discuss today because I was inspired by this comment. The problem with the altcoins is that for a lot of us, they are going to need to pump at least 15 to 20% just to break even, let alone make money. Someone else said 300% for me. I bought in December, and someone else, yet more like 200%. We get 15 to 20% pumps all the time. So I've been in the market since 2017, and I want to give you guys who are maybe under the water some insight into my opinion as to what I would do if I was in that position. This is not financial advice for any of you guys personally, including the people in that comment section. I don't know your financial situation, but if I was underwater right now, this is my thought process as to what I would do.
XRP 또는 코인에 손실을 보고 있다면 어떻게 대처할까요? 8년차 크립토 트레이더 코너가 경험을 바탕으로 전략을 소개하겠습니다.
I saw people saying that they bought back in December, January, meaning there's a potential that they bought at a price of $2.92 or at a price of $3.39. So these are the highs, right? We have $1.50, $1.96, whatever you think the highs were, this doesn't matter. It doesn't apply, right? This, what I'm saying right now is what's important. So this is the price, right? $1.49, $1.96, and then $3.40. So let's just say those are the positions that people bought. Now, loads of people would have bought here, loads of people would have bought here, loads of people want to bought here. In my experience, I was probably one of the people buying here. I've been holding XRP for a long time, right? In fact, I can tell you an almost identical story. It's not XRP, but it's Cardano. I bought a lot of Cardano up here. I also bought a bunch of other altcoins up here, but it's what I did next that differentiated me from the rest of the market. Now, I know you guys know what dollar cost averaging is, all right? And I know you've heard it a million times, but let me just give you the perspective of someone who actually did this after losing everything. So let's go on Cardano because I want to give you a real example, something that I've actually done, not just hearsay, not just speculation, but something I really did in the past. So one of my biggest trades ever, right, was Cardano, this big run up here. And I was part of the people that bought Cardano the day it was launched on Binance. It was launched at 400 sats, and we used to trade Cardano sats, right? Not Cardano USDT. It used to be Cardano Bitcoin. So sats, right? Listen, it then went down from the 2018 highs. It went down 94%. So the people right now, right, that are talking about what we're talking about on XRP, if they bought the exact top of $3.40, are only down 33%. All right? That's to put it into perspective. And I'm not telling you that that didn't feel like crap. It felt horrible. But it's what I did next that changed the entire, or my entire opinion and strategy. All right? Simply, for about a year, I felt like I was the worst person on earth. I thought I was stupid. I didn't take any profits. I was an idiot. This is the most important thing that you need to get over. The emotion behind being an investor or trader. We're going to go through these ebbs and flows all the time. I personally have been through them multiple times where I beat myself up. I'm finally now at a position where if I lose money in a trade, I no longer beat myself up because I know I did the best given the news, the data, and my strategy. If I went off on a whim and I just went 100x long, or I bought something I didn't follow my strategy, then sure, I'd beat myself up. But now I follow a very concise strategy, all right? So that's why I don't beat myself up. But I learned this strategy from doing the following, all right? So when it crashed, I got out of the market for about a year, which is the stupidest thing. I didn't get out, sorry. I just stopped paying attention. I stopped. I was just beating myself up and I wasn't doing it. For about a year, right? I didn't do anything. But then one day, I decided, you know what? I've heard so many people talk about dollar cost averaging. I know it's not going to work. It's going to be stupid. I'm going to waste some money, but I'm just going to buy a bit more. And I bought a couple of $1,000s worth of Cardano down here, guys. And that was before, let's say it's an average of here, before an 8,000 or 9,000% gain. Okay, so one of my biggest trades ever. And all it was me simply buying close to the top, feeling like an idiot, right? And then just buying more. And I know it sounds so simple, but the thing is people want to overcomplicate how you make money, right? But in my opinion, people overcomplicate how to make money in this space. So let's say, for example, because I do think that XRP is going to go up again. All right. So, for example, if I was under the water because I had bought XRP at $3.40, right? What I would simply do is buy more. Now, that is, in a nutshell, my strategy. I don't know where the top is. I don't know if I'm late, and I don't know what's going to happen next. So I only tend to trade things that I actually believe in the long term are going to go up. Look at my trading portfolio. Solana, Ethereum, XRP, SUI, and Bitcoin. I actually believe all of these are going to go up. So if I get in, right, if I get in at a price and I was wrong and it ends up being the high, what do I do next? Because one, I don't have any credit card debt. I'm not stressed about my finances. 2, I'm making income and I have supplementary income every month. 3, I have a strategy. The strategy involves dollar cost averaging, whether it's in the leverage market or the spot market. So what would I be doing right now? I would be taking my extra income that I have, right? Because I make money monthly. I have extra income after my expenses. I don't have credit card debt. I don't have bad debt. I have emergency fund, all of that. And I would simply continue to buy. So what I would be doing, I bought up here at $3.40 and I bought again here at $2.25. That averages my price, $2.65, for example. If I bought $1,000 here and $1,000 here, my average is now here. Now let's say it does this, right? And I buy another $1,000 here. It brings my average to here. Let's say it does this and goes down further. I buy another $1,000 here. It brings my average to here. And then so on, right? I keep bringing my average down, or it just stays the same price because people like to say it does nothing, right? And I bring my average to around where we are. And then guess what? We get a 15 to 20% move. And instead of breaking even, right? Instead of breaking even, I'm now in profit. All right. And that is the strategy. And the second I get into profit, depending on the strategy, I try and get my capital out. So if it's a really long-term strategy, I just wait. I wait for what I consider euphoria. What do I consider euphoria? Well, let's jump over onto Google Trends. Are loads of people searching for XRP? If we're up here, probably I'm going to take profits from my spot back. Has the price moved significantly where I have significant profits here? Yes. Okay. Well, then I'm going to take some profits and I'm going to secure my downside by using a stop loss. All right. Or I'm just going to take all of my initial investment out. Let's say it was a $5,000 at that point. I'm going to take, and it's gone up 2x. I'll take out all of my $5,000 and I just let the rest ride. Maybe it goes to 0, maybe it goes back out. But the key is to remove my emotion. So I use a dollar cost averaging strategy with supplementary income and remove my emotion from the trade. If I was wrong, which I am wrong, I dollar cost average down because I'm buying assets and crypto that I think in the long term, when I say long term, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, will eventually go higher than the price it was today. If I didn't think that, I would not buy it, because that way, when we do start to go up, which I believe will happen, it might never happen, but when we do, if we do, I then can make money really quickly and I can protect my downside, removing my initial investment, taking profit, using stop losses. That's what I would do, but it's an exciting time, guys. And I do hope that this provides you with a little bit of insight into how I feel about the crypto market. With that said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.